Hello, everyone. I'd like to show you what is one of the maybe most important screens in the Nexus software, and that is the Watchdog. And it's important because this screen is the one that is going to save you tens of thousands of dollars in maintenance and damage to your system when you configure it and set it up properly. And in this view, you see that I have set up two rules. So the Watchdog has rules. So this is the first rule, and this is the second rule. And what happens is that it's basically an if statement. So if you're familiar with programming, you build an if statement. And this rule says that if the liquid nitrogen measured value, so the temperature, is at any time greater than minus 80 degrees, then, well, then I've run out of liquid nitrogen, right? Because liquid nitrogen is minus 196 degrees, and maybe I'm controlling my system to hold this particular temperature probe at minus 100 or minus 90, something like that. So if it ever reaches minus 80, then, my liquid nitrogen has run out. I'm running on fumes. And I need to decide, is this a problem to my system? And if this is a problem, what do I want to do about it? And I decided that this is a problem because, this is going to ruin my sample if I try and grow with insufficient liquid nitrogen. So the software now takes an action. And I've told it to then, when that happens, ramp all the loops to standby. So this is a command that actually runs a recipe automatically, and it will run that recipe, and whatever's going on in the system, it'll ramp everything to standby to save my system. It's also going to here, it'll send me an email to let me know that the rule happened. So I'll get a little email from Nexus saying, yeah, your liquid nitrogen is greater than minus 80, and I've ramped everything to standby. So that's very nice to get that information and heads up. This one says that it's active, so it's actively enforced. So I can turn this on and off to temporarily enable or disable a rule. This one, I left it off for now, but this one should happen, right? So if I'm going to ramp all the loops to standby, if a recipe is running, I want that recipe to stop, right? So then the Watchdog will stop the recipe that's running when I tick this, and then it'll ramp the loops to standby. It's auto resetting, which means that if at any point the liquid nitrogen gets less than minus 80, then the rule will clear itself and it will no longer be triggered. And this one is just to tell me whether the rule is triggered or not. It's a bit of an understatement because when this is triggered, it's quite subtle, but the entire gray background turns red to let me know that it's triggered as well. And the important thing is that the rule will only work if it's saved, right? So you need to hit save for the rule. So this is a rule that protects my system from running out of liquid nitrogen. This is perhaps the more important rule. This second rule protects my system when there is insufficient water. So I'm monitoring the water service, the measured value, which in this point is the flow rate. And I said, if that ever reaches less than 1 liter per minute, then I've got a blockage in my water. Okay, I've got insufficient water. And if that happens, I want to open the bypass, which switches a set of valves in the system, which puts me onto a second water chilling loop. And this is going to try to protect my system, right? Because you don't want water boiling in your cells of your fusion cell. You cause a lot of damage. And this is one of the more expensive repairs. If you burst these water cooling jackets in your system, it can be a lot of money to fix. So yeah, this is how you build up rules. And the idea of the Watchdog is you use it mostly to monitor the services on the system, but you can use it to catch things like when the thermocouples break on the system because there's a step change in the temperature that the PID controller will see, and you can build up rules for anything in the system to protect the system. And this is so critical to MBE, where you can suffer a lot of downtime and you can suffer a lot of damages. So yeah, I really hope that you like this and you use this feature of the software to save you time and money.